So can we have our science meeting now? They canceled my science club meeting this morning for this Dr. Green.
Bus safety is important.
Well, actually, I figured this out about 5:30 this morning. And I think that the administrators that go to UNL have to take Weasel 101 and Weasel 102. The other day, when Dr. Greedy called the first time to say that I was a finalist, we were going to talk about the Frisbee golf thing. Nice one. And this morning, I should have found out already because they said we'd find out soon. And I started to think about, this meeting's a little funny. But then, so's Dr. Endorf. You know, I've been trying to tell Dr. Endorf, too, that I'm more than just a pretty face. You know, I think maybe now he gets it. You know? So, but I think he gets it, too. I think the way we started school with the pep rally, if all the other teachers would stand, please. All of our other teachers. Mr. B, you stand, too. We're part of a team. Sorry.
You can do it, Mr. Fear.
Well, I gotta tell you, I didn't see my mom here until just now. And, Mom's got apples everywhere. When, she moved into assisted living, and my brother and I started cleaning the farmhouse. There are apples everywhere. But she was the one, I think, that kind of started the process. And I had resisted going into teaching for a long time. We're going to be a teacher just like your mom. I didn't understand the time that she put in to that process and how much she gave of herself to that process. And I just hope that I can continue to do the same thing for as long as I can teach. So, boy, thanks for organizing this. This is better than I thought it could have been. Like I said, I sort of had to figure this morning a little bit, but you guys went to a lot more effort than I had expected. And, geez, all the trips to Dallas and stuff. Where's Mrs. Peter? Well, the jacket, was that for me, too? Yeah, he usually doesn't dress that way. Mrs. P's got a skirt on today. Mrs. Peterson, where are you at? You told me you gave up skirts until it got back to 85 degrees, so that was sort of the confirmation that I knew what was going on. So I'm done, except you guys are not off the hook. You know, we still got class today, and we're going to rock and roll, literally rock and roll here at Global Science. We got some rock stuff to talk about in just a second. So thanks so much for your time and for organizing this today.
Yeah, Mr. Fear!
Run off, Mr. Fear, because there are a lot of people in this room that could say some great things about Bob. You guys know that, I know that, but maybe nobody more appropriate to say some nice things about this teacher than his very own daughter. So Aaron Fear, straight from Wichita Public Schools, here to talk about her dad.
Good morning. How are you guys today? Where's my 8th grade coach at Hadley Middle School in Wichita, and my job is to basically teach teachers. So being in education, this I guess is a great time for me to talk to you guys about just how much of an impact my dad has made on my life and how lucky you guys are to be able to go through North Bend Public Schools. Life as a teacher's kid really sometimes isn't all that great. I'm sure you hear fabulous stories every year about purple cabbage juice. Have any of you heard that story yet? No? You still do that? No. All right, well, email this here for you guys. So one night I was laying in bed and I had woke up in the middle of the night, was really thirsty, it was really hot, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need something to drink. So I went downstairs and I opened the fridge, and in the door of the fridge was a freshly made bottle of grape Kool-Aid, I thought. So as I'm standing there in the fridge in the middle of the night drinking out of the jug, which I know you're not supposed to do, so don't repeat that mistake. The first thought going through my head is, this isn't very cold. And then I think, this isn't really sweet. And then I think, oh my God, what did I just drink? And the next morning I found out that it was a jug of purple cabbage juice that he had boiled the night before to use in a lab the next day. Yeah, fabulous, right? So I guess one thing you learn as being a teacher's kid is to always read labels. Or don't drink anything that you don't know what it is. But I do have to say that another thing that's absolutely fabulous is taking biology 2 from your dad. And you know that fourth quarter is reproduction. And there's a pretty heavy emphasis on human reproduction. Imagine how fabulous that is to be sitting around with your kids hearing your dad teach the whole class about sex. You get over being shy really quick. Both my brother and I had to go through that. And I remember what it was like as a 7th grader being in his class for the first time and not knowing whether to say dad or whether to call him Mr. Fewer. And I realized that neither of them really worked. He never heard me anyway. I remember also another thing is I hated tests from him. You guys all know how hard his tests are. They're non-multiple choice. You actually have to know what you're writing about when you go to take the test. You can't bluff your way through it. So you actually have to study. You actually have to read your notes. I didn't always do the best on it. But I do have to say that the things that you learn in his class make you think. And they make you actually put forth effort. And even if you're not going to go into science, even if you're not going to be an educator, learning how to think is one of the most important things that you will get out of going through North Bend schools. Life's answers aren't multiple choice, and there's not always somebody there to tell you how to do it. So when you get irritated with him for not telling you just how to do it and what the answer is, just remember that telling him to, or when he tells you to go back and read the directions, that it really is a valuable life lesson, even though it's irritating at that time.
He said, read the directions. That's my 7th graders.
Yes, yes. He always complains every year that 7th graders don't know how to read directions. Yeah. So I guess students, for you guys, what I would tell you is, even though it's hard, even though it's frustrating, sometimes boring, and his jokes aren't funny.
Here they are!
You probably just got extra credit for that. He does have things to teach you, and if you listen and if you put forth the effort, it really will make an impact on your life. And I know that having had him as a dad and having had him as a teacher has made me such a better person and so much better off. So I really appreciate what I've gotten from him and what I've gotten from North Bend. Thank you.
All right. One more time. Okay, y'all been sitting here real nice, very polite, very courteous. That's fantastic. Okay, but I know you guys, you want to yell and scream a little bit. So if you think back, remember our pep rally from a couple weeks ago? Right? Having a nice pep rally, somebody hijacks the microphone and does this go big orange thing.
Remember that?
Yeah.
All right. 7th graders follow directions. Okay? We're going to do that today, but we're going to say, Teacher of the Year. You with me? So be loud. Ready? Teacher of the Year. Teacher of the Year. Not bad. Mr. Fuhr, it's all yours, man. Let them have it. Like you did last week. Come on, come on. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Teacher! Again. Teacher of the. That's pretty anemic. Of the Year. Teacher of the. Teacher of the Year. Teacher of the Year.
Hey, that was really great, except Dr. Breed was hollering year every time. So, you got some work to do, buddy. All right, when you come to a pep rally, what's rule number 1? Be loud. Yeah.
Be loud.
What's rule number 2? Stand for the school song. Number 2, we got some work to do. What's rule number 3? Be loud. Okay, let's do all 3 of those as we do the school song in honor of our teacher of the year, Mr. Fuhr. Let's hear ya. Seniors, you can take off first.